You all must have heard I'm a real nerd. People say I'm a fool, but they never got the news that I'm a vile one. Oh yeah, I'm a vile one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel down, cause you're watching VileMike and his real wild child. Oh yeah, I'm a vile one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel down, cause you're watching VileMike and his real wild child.
Jafar, buy an SD game swap. Creed.
All right. First thing I'm going to talk.
Video failed to play the.
Okay, go ahead, Elihu. I'll let you say something first before I go with what I was going to say.
Sorry, it said your browser failed to play video. What was that?
I think
it played it all for me.
I didn't see anything.
It played.
It played.
Must be just on your end.
Yep.
Okay,
all right.
weird.
So the first thing I'm going to say is for this, as of Friday, SD Game Swap officially has an Instagram account.
I know. I'm following you.
Yay.
Are you following me or are you following SD Game Swap? Because there's two.
I'm following you. Sorry, I didn't realize there was another one to follow.
I had to link it to. I had to create my own personal account so I could have a business account for the store.
Right.
So there's now one for me, which has my real name attached to it because it's my real Facebook account attached to that, which has my real name. But SD Game Swap is completely going to be separate. We posted one thing yesterday having to do with one of the Power Ranger things. And the idea behind it is every day I'm going to try to do a short little video that I'll be posting to the TikTok, to YouTube, to Instagram, to basically every social media platform, focusing on one item that I'm currently selling to drum up more sales for the business.
Nice.
This is based on a speech that I caught. Basically, I was on autoplay on when I was working Friday. Or no, sorry, Thursday. And yes, hold on.
Yes, I very much enjoy it this way. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The comment.
Shiny.
Oh, no, man.
I know.
I shaved. No, I got fresh and clean, Mr. Clean, like a couple days ago.
And we got Fabio over there.
Okay. Fabio.
Fabio to my Vin Diesel.
Has a better hair. There you go.
And the Ginger Cabal.
All right, so
I look better this way. That's just the reality. I thought my wife would get tired of that fucking hair after a while, but I finally got tired of it first.
So if anyone's on Instagram, it's at SD Game Swap. The TikTok is VileMike or at VileMike SDGS, which just stands for SD Game Swap because someone freaking took my fucking things already.
Bastards.
Blame your kid.
I can't. They told me to sign up for TikTok sooner, but someone else already took VileMike and someone else took SD Game Swap, which I'm really upset that someone took SD Game Swap because I'm like, who else is going to do that? They have 0 followers, 0 posts, 0 everything.
It was probably somebody hoping you would pay them for the.
Yeah, I know, but still, my business is not going to. Well, my business is like, I'll give you a 5% off a $5 item.
Wait a minute. People actually do that.
Yes.
Oh, Darren, they've been doing that since the .com bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
That's why I
there was a very famous one. I can't remember what it was, but there was a movie studio, and I want to say it was Warner Brothers or it was Universal. It was like one of the big movie studios, and someone registered the name for that movie studio, and that studio ended up paying them like $13 or $14 million. I'm pulling that number completely out of my ass. Forgive me. In order to get it, but I haven't read this story in like 30 years, so forgive me a little bit for not remembering the details.
I think it was Universal at $9 million.
I think there's been a few court cases since with people trying to get it back without, like say because the person's not using it or anything, and that they're,
Yeah, but it is a lengthy process though, because it's just like any
money to start with to do that kind of nonsense.
Well, the guy who had the username X is still trying to get money from us for canceling his account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
but I'll tell you what. After this week, honestly, I'm just glad. I feel like I've almost fully recovered from this concussion. Yeah, can't tell.
And Darren, if I called you NB, or I'm sorry, if I called NB Geek Darren, I thought I didn't think I did that, and I'm sorry for insulting you in such a fashion.
Yeah, I'm the asshole. Remember?
Your Dennis Leary embodiment.
Did anybody? So for those of you who don't know what happened with the concussion thing,
yeah, I was better, man.
I know you know, Elihu.
I don't. Please tell.
Oh, so I got up and what normally happens is our purebreds are outside because they're herders, and our mutts are inside because they're 11 years old now, and one of them's got arthritis. So normally either me or my wife lets them out in the morning. Now, normally that's not a problem. My PBs are usually out in the field or right next to the door. Well, Monday or Tuesday, I don't remember exactly what day, I make the stupid mistake of getting up, and instead of opening the door from the backside, like, I'm supposed to do, I open it like this, and wham! My freaking 100+ pound Bernese Mountain Dog got some kind of running start and just slammed that son of a bitch into my head. And I'll tell you what, I've never had a concussion. If I've ever had a concussion, I don't know. But like, I was so nauseated. I was so tired. I was actually getting scared as fuck to go to sleep.
Yeah, that little wet noodle of his wife did not do that to his eye. He ran into a door.
I had an argument with my door, and my fucking dog took the door aside.
I've had quite a few concussions thanks to high school football. So, yeah, I know how bad they can be.
For the number of times I've been hit and the number of times I've cracked my head, if I've ever had a concussion, I would not know. But this, holy shit balls, Batman, did this fuck me up.
You have more to say on that? Because I was going to go into something.
That's it. Thankfully, I'm finally looking like
I'm glad you're not mentally impaired more than usual.
Nah, I'm just the same dumbass.
So last week, because of the announcement that they're going to the new season of Last of Us, I decided to rewatch season 1.
Still love that series. And
because when I originally watched it, there wasn't as much information on certain things. So I was going back after each episode to, look up trivia for the episode because I like that kind of stuff. And NB, the episode you were talking about, your favorite one?
Yeah, the third episode, the one with the two guys.
That has been basically straw polls online have basically said that is probably the best video game episode of anything ever written, or that's an adaptation from a video game ever written, put on screen.
That's awesome.
I have yet to see Last of Us.
Same.
I would highly recommend it.
That third episode by yourself. And Mike, I'm absolutely fucking glad I'm not the only one who thinks that was an amazing episode. Actually, you remember when I did my video based on your recommendation about that? And the comments I had, people were like, yes, amazing episode. Fucking awesome.
And rewatching it, again, I haven't played the game, since it came out.
Yeah, neither have I.
And I forgot about how much they changed from the game to make that story work. And yet, rewatching that episode, it just hits you in the feels. I didn't care that it was adaptation-wise, it's a very bad adaptation from the game. But it was just so well done that no one gives a shit.
I don't see how you could give a shit. The writing is just the writing, the acting, the chemistry between the two actors.
Yeah.
Everything just gelled and worked together. I mean, like I said, fuck, I wanted a miniseries just with them.
It was, I mean, it was.
So, I'm glad
it was
that
a very
the most popular episode of season
For those
1.
that don't know, this was basically a love story told in a single episode about two people who are essentially the last, like the title of the game, The Last of Us. It was the last two in that area. And one of them is, the type of person that doesn't want to rely on anybody. And the other is someone who needs someone to take care of. And while they have opposing ideals in certain ways, they end up falling in love, and literally till death did them part.
Yes, that ending.
Oh, spoiler alert! Jeez, thanks.
No, it.
Well, if you played the game,
life.
If you played the game,
goes through their entire life together.
Sorry, Dandelion, but it's in the game. The game spoiled part of it for you already. And remember, the game at this point is like over 10 years old.
Now, here's the thing: they took wasn't it in the game, Mike? It was just notes they found. I can't.
No, in the game, in the game, one of them was still alive. Bill.
Okay. Yeah, I still personally think. Yeah, in that case, no.
If you're exploring their love story more,
I'm definitely going to say the episode was better than that. Then.
Yeah, but it's like in the game, it's a very big juxtaposition between the two. Because the main character of the show in the game, Joel, and this is not going to be much of a spoiler because it happens in literally the first part of the game and the first episode of this series. He loses his daughter, and the whole thing is he does not want to talk about it. He doesn't want anyone to bring her up. He is, even 10 years later, he is still suffering her death.
Mm-hmm.
Bill is supposed to represent that aspect of Joel. He does not want to mention his lover. He doesn't want to have that person brought up. He just wants to forget that person ever existed because that's how much just thinking about them causes him pain. And that's the stage that Joel's at in the game and in the series.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. I haven't played the game in so long.
And if you're playing the game, you only discover the love story aspect if you go through and read the notes.
Okay, that's the part I was talking.
Yeah,
that's the part I was thinking of.
And going back and rewatching that episode, I was just, God,
it's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not. That type of relationship is not something that I see much, as in like, how do I put it? I don't seek out that type of media.
Yeah.
Okay, first off, let's not beat around the bush. They're gay.
Yeah, they're gay. So I don't watch a lot of, gay romances, whether it be woman, man, whatever. It's just not something that floats my boat. Personally.
I don't watch straight romances either. Romances in general don't appeal to me.
Yeah, but straight romances are in everything. They're in Star Trek. They're in Star Wars. They're everywhere.
So
that's what I'm talking about.
I'm going to be honest. The last good romance movie my wife and I saw, and we kind of said this because I asked her, I said, What was the last good romance movie we agreed upon that was any good since
Fly Me to the Moon.
since Date Night? I mean, for us, that's one we can go back to and watch. And my wife and I have several romance movies we can watch together and love.
But this episode like opens your eyes that maybe you can watch that stuff, type of stuff, and it's not going to be bad, because as long as it's really well written. And I would apply that to every type of romance. Very few romances I can, like you said, I'm not a big fan of most rom-coms.
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of most chick flick, Lifetime type stuff. But sometimes maybe it's like I should watch some of that stuff, because if freaking a zombie apocalypse movie or a TV show can kick me in the feels, maybe one of those can.
Well,
I
one of
do
the-
have to say I like watching Love Actually around the holidays. There's lots of ridiculous romance in that one.
The thing is, it's despite the fact that they're gay or because of it, I don't really give a shit. It doesn't matter. It's just in a 45-minute or 50-minute or however long it was, they told, and as far as I'm concerned, the best story of the first season. As I've said, I'm gonna hands down die on that hill that was one of the best love stories I've ever seen.
If you think Romeo and Juliet is a tragic love story, it has nothing on this.
Actually, that's a good analogy. No, I actually would agree with that. No, I mean, the point of the matter is, it is just a beautiful love story.
Well, see, here's the thing. When I first watched the series, I didn't focus on that episode as much. This time I did, because of your recommendation, NB. And half the time, I'm watching the game. I'm watching the episode, and I'm comparing it to the game. And the first time I watch it, the entire time I'm just like, okay, that's not what happened in the game. That's not what happened in the game. That's not. And I was so focused about the fact that it wasn't adapting that storyline from the game very well, that I didn't pay attention to the nuances of the frickin' story itself.
But the second time you did.
The second time, I'm just watching it as, like you said, a standalone episode. And yeah, it is. You could easily watch this episode, like he says, by itself, and not miss a thing for the episode, and it wouldn't affect not watching the rest of the show.
No, but I still say it's the best of the season, hands down, and I'm dying on that hill.
So it does not progress the story. It's a good filler episode.
It is probably, as far as filler episodes go, the best filler episode I've ever seen in my life. And with that, I'm going to go heat up my coffee. And then I do have a movie I want to talk about. Yeah, I got to.
Okay, how many times do I have to tell you? Get a portable coffee pot, extension cord, keep it by your computer.
That sounds dangerous. I would definitely spill it on my computer.
I literally have a little USB coffee heater thing that I sometimes use.
I'm sitting in the kitchen, my tea.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But I'm on my last cup of tea, so I'll probably head my grocery shopping.
I almost bought a new one, Elihu, when me and some of the Vile kids went thrifting on Friday. Except when I tested it, it not only did it get really hot really fast, which is usually a good thing, it started to burn the paint of the shelf I was setting it on to test almost immediately. That's how hot the thing got.
That doesn't sound particularly good.
So yeah,
that's going to make your tea too hot, isn't it?
I think so, and that's why I didn't end up getting it. But that's the whole thing about that. When it came to the thrifting stuff, I got Vile Style to post some of it on Friday too, in exchange for buying her a pair of pants that she really, really liked.
There you go.
Now, But here's the issue. Okay, 2 of the things that she posted on Friday sold by Saturday. One item,
Nice.
I'm now mad at myself because I told her to put it at a certain price,
And you
and judging by how fast it sold,
you underpriced it.
I think I underpriced it because there was only one on
Oh.
eBay. The guy was asking $30 for it, and it was used. I put it at $45 new, and someone bought it like that.
Oh,
Well, maybe
shit.
somebody had just been holding out, like maybe you just happened to get the person who wanted that item, and like they'd been holding out, waiting to not get the used one. And so who knows,
Maybe. I don't know.
they would have paid more. Maybe that was like what they were, maybe there isn't like a huge market for it.
And then the other one, I don't know how she priced it or how she got the price for it, because she sold a game that I believe I told her to put at $10. She put the listing price at $3.22.
Oh my gosh.
So someone bought it right away, and I paid $4 for it. So I'm actually going to lose money on it. And of course I'm still going to sell it. The guy paid for it. He's going to get it. It was not his fault that she put the wrong price. But now I'm going to be like, you think I owe you more money? No, you now owe me money because you put the wrong freaking price on it.
Hey, Mike, Elihu, for Last of Us, the new season that's coming out. I saw the trailer. I also heard that there's like a 5-year time jump. What do you guys know about it? There is?
I didn't really play Last of Us 2, so I'm more in the
No,
dark.
I
on
haven't
the one.
either. I don't know anything about it.
So I don't know what they're going to do, because if I remember correctly from my playthrough of Last of Us, Joel died at the end. So
I don't know. I only played
based on the TV show, not exactly the same. Like they're based on something, not the something. So maybe they won't kill him.
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing is they didn't know.
That's part of the storyline. That's how she gets revenge.
Yeah, in the TV show, no, he did not die.
Okay.
At the same point.
Like I said,
in the game, he did. That's why she was trying to get revenge on the killer.
Right.
I don't recall him dying in the first game. That must be something happened early in the second.
It has to do with one of the decisions you make throughout the game.
Oh. Okay.
Because I mean, look at Game of Thrones. How many people died in the books that didn't die in the show? Because they paid the actors. They don't want them to die in the first episode.
No, never read the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and that's the other part of the title was I got House of the Dragon in there because I started watching season 2 of House of the Dragon.
Oh shit! Did that finally drop? Oh wait, no, I'm thinking
it dropped a while ago, like back in January.
I'm thinking season 3. You got my hopes up here, asshole.
Sorry, no, season 2.
Head out pretty soon. There's a chicken that likes to lay an egg in the planter outside my window, and she's really upset because I'm still here. Usually I'm gone by this time, but she can hear us in here and she can see me moving around. So she's like standing over in the grass, like staring at me.
Oh, speaking of chickens, ours are now a month old. We're almost done with updating, getting the coop all done. My wife's getting the template for the door, and then we just have to put up the fence for the running area. I got to get a couple of things from the stores, get some feed and other shit.
These chickens don't have their wings clipped, so they only go into the actual chicken coop at night, because then they'll go into their like chicken hut to like roost for the night in the shelter. But during the day, they're just out wandering around the yard.
Ours are going to be a little more confined in our open area.
Well, I'm surprised we haven't lost any yet, because there's a lot of eagles in this area, and they haven't nested yet. They usually only grab chickens when it's like when they've got baby mouths to feed, and then they'll start snatching the chickens.
Yeah, the eagles around here, the eagles and hawks around here, they're normally they stay more to the fields, the open fields. They don't normally come into the more public area housing. But yeah, my wife did a video. So we have 2 Delawares and 3 Rhode Island Reds. And we think we might have 2 roos and 3 hens. And people have been confirming, because Rhode Island hens are a very common breed, that yes, we have 1 roo for certain.
Well, we've got like 4 roosters, but well, there were a couple more roosters, but I think the landlord ate them. So
Oh, they went to the chicken freezer. Oh,
no,
they
I think they went directly
as my
into
wife,
the soup pot.
as my wife has been using the term freezer camp. Because
Oh.
really, that's a term they used. That's a term used.
Yeah, I think these ones went directly into soup pot. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Like,
Oh, there was this one. There's
Redbird.
this TikTok my wife sent me, and I'll see if I think, I don't know if I shared it with you guys in the group chat. But it's like, okay, ladies, the rent is to butt nuggets and chicken nuggets.
yeah, when I actually have they have like a little like automatic door that opens, so I've got that now set to like open at like 5:30, because I'm usually up at 5:30, but I don't want to go out and open the chicken door. So I've finally got it all set up to open on its own and close at night. Like, I'll still go and open and close the big door, but the little one can just open and close itself. But there was already an egg, and I always love that you grab the fresh egg and it's like still chicken butt warm.
Yeah,
love that nice chicken butt warm egg, which was good because it was frosty out this morning and it warmed my hands up.
Well,
yesterday, yesterday, Mrs. Vile made scrambled eggs with ham. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I know for you Americans, this is like caviar now.
No, what's hilarious is you got all these fucking idiots who are buying chickens and didn't do a goddamn lick of research on how to fucking, because here's the thing. Yeah. I've been here 5 years now, and my wife, she talked about chickens some years ago. I told her flat, I said, we get chickens, you are going to do your goddamn research. I said, we're not going to be one of those fucking people who gets chickens and doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
Like my landlord?
I don't know. Is your landlord a fucking idiot?
He's not an idiot, no, but his acquisition of chickens has been very haphazard. It keeps turning up with like a Rubbermaid bin full of tiny chicks for me to take care of.
So anyway, we had to figure out when was a good time, when was when we could do it, when was going to be affordable for us and economical for us. Honestly, the egg prices didn't fucking matter to us. My wife just wanted chicks, because we got the space field.
Well, to be fair, I wouldn't mind going around trying to pick up a few chicks myself.
Don't hope that Mrs.
I don't think you want to say that yet. Hopefully Mrs. Cordinas is in here.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
Now, that was a joke entirely, but I will say I went into dad mode a little bit on Friday. I took my son and my 2 teenage daughters to McDonald's. Mm-hmm. And, of course, my youngest decides to wear a very, very, very flattering top. Let's put it that way. And the guy who sat next to us kept looking at my daughters and be like, how you doing? And I wanted to look over and I'm like, I'm their dad. Stop. I didn't say anything. He didn't really say anything. It's just the way he was looking at him. I was like,
no, I've had that situation happen before. Okay, so like me and my oldest daughter would go out to eat, right? And okay, this was it was funny at first the first couple times happened, then it just got really fucking annoying. It would be like they would always assume she was my wife. And I'm like, That's my daughter.
My wife.
And I'm like, okay, we thought it was funny. It was funny a couple of times. Then it was just like, okay, now y'all starting to make me feel like I'm a creep.
Yeah, I think they're the ones that are the creeps.
Yeah, well, not the same scenario, but one time, my mom, my oldest caddy, and I went to the YMCA to look about getting a membership for it,
Yeah.
and they thought that I was married to my mom and that my daughter was our daughter.
Holy crap.
I've seen that happen, but I've seen that happen before.
Were you in Alabama?
No, but I was just like, my mom was like, "Oh, you think I'm that young? That's so nice." And I'm just like,
Dude,
"Do I look that old?"
No. It's like, you think I'm married to my mom? It's like, ugh.
All right,
I'm my
it's
own
8:30. I finished my
grandpa.
tea. I'm gonna go because I want to go for my walk, and I'm gonna let
All
this
right.
chicken come and lay her egg, and I'm gonna do my groceries. But I will
And-
see you all again soon. Bye,
Have
guys.
fun.
And to go to the chat a little bit,
Dandelion.
Darren, when it comes to the tariff stuff, we're going to leave that to the pre-show politics stream. We've decided that, or I've decided that the CNA is going back to just being a nerd chat type thing. Political stuff to vent and get it out of our system is for the pre-show politics. You can bring it up on the new stream that I have, which is going to be a random time and date stream for the most part, and it's named after an AI error called. Oh shoot! Now I can't even remember. I'm having a brain fart. What I call the stream?
Why aren't you DMing me this shit since dumbass here can't get his ass in the group yet?
Shoot!
I forgot.
Hold on.
I forgot what it was called, dude.
Dude, I'm not going to BlueSky, okay? I'm not going. I'm not doing another social media. I go
No,
that
no,
way.
no.
I
We're
know
not
I
talking about
have my
Blue.
limits.
Not talking about
Well,
Blue
I'm
Sky.
posting
Talking
the
about the
stuff-
name of the stream.
No, I'm saying when he does his stuff on, when he puts his posts out, all you're talking about.
Well, that's the
I
thing,
don't
Envy.
see anything on X.
I'm going to try to get this to go on to when I do the announcements. It'll be on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Blue Sky.
Okay,
That's the goal.
All right.
I did download Snapchat, but my daughters told me that that's basically not going to help as much as I think it will. So I haven't even opened the app after downloading it. So
getting back to nerd stuff, I saw the new Nosferatu.
How was it? Because I haven't seen it yet.
Me either.
Elihu, have you seen it?
Nope.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what your tastes are in that kind of stuff. I thought it was fucking beautiful.
I'm not a good horror genre fan, but Sinners looks pretty good.
What I'm saying is, when it comes to this kind of horror, this was right up my alley. Great score, great acting, good practical effects. With Orlok, they did a lot of the shadow things, and I was just like, "Oh, that's so freaking cool."
I was trying to look it up. Hold on, I was trying to look it up, but I literally, as I'm looking it up, I remembered it's the community offensive stream.
Community offensive stream. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And yeah, that was
the movie is very eerie. It is a slow burn. It is a tragedy. There's no way around it. Everybody in the cast, though, I've got to be honest, is stellar. And by the way, I am going to point out one spoiler. The rats, they're not CGI.
Dude, the only slow burning I like is slow burning 22.5 Fahrenheit. It's all right.
But I mean, what I mean by slow burn is you have to you got to go in and just. It's not one of those movies. Like I said, it's not one of those movies you can No. And that's what I love about it. So I thought good writing, good directing, longer. I watched the extended cut. I wonder what the non-version was, because I did think the extended cut was a little too long and drawn out. So I do want to watch the movie version and do a compare and contrast on that. That'll be something interesting for me to do. I haven't done that in forever. Usually I always like the extended cuts more, but in this case, I'm kind of curious to see if I prefer the more edited. I don't know. Mike, does that make any sense?
Yes, because I felt the same way about Return of the King.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry. I've got a mosquito that is flying around my fucking cab, and it's pissing me off.
It's just hungry.
Yeah, well, I tried to kill it, but I couldn't.
Well, don't worry. Don't worry. Once it drinks your blood, it'll be drunk as a skunk.
Only the females drink blood.
Well, it's most likely a female if it's sticking around inside the car with at least one open window.
I would say, did either of you guys like Bram Stoker's Dracula?
I really liked it when it originally came out. The more I watch it, the less I like it, if that makes sense.
Okay, yes, I understand that. Then this might not be for you.
What?
I'm just saying.
Never is.
No, I'm just saying. I have a different view.
I think I got it.
I just when it comes to horror, I like thriller more than anything else. That's
Sorry,
why I love it. Well, that's why I love it.
I originally turned off the camera so you wouldn't see me doing that, and I started doing it on camera anyway.
Then MB, you should check out the trailer for Sinners.
Sinners.
Yes.
Okay. I'll take a look.
It's the new Michael B. Jordan movie.
One of the things I did watch that I liked was I didn't like the title of it, but The Substance. I ended up watching that, and I'm like, this is a really good, body horror movie. I mean, we knew from the trailers it was going to be body horror. It didn't play out the way I thought it would, but I did like it.
You want to hear something funny? That's completely unrelated to that, Mike. But I put my vanity plate that my daughter got me, the one that's Back to the Future, says out of time on it. And I swear to fucking God, everybody thinks I'm from California.
Well, it is a California plate in the...
Yeah, but I'm just like, what? You don't get the joke? Like, damn, I got to go back to getting my killer clan. I'm thinking, fuck, are you people...
People are seeing the white background license plate. Oh, California. They're not looking. They're just seeing the colors like, oh, okay, California.
Out of time. Jeez, how
yeah,
hard is that?
But the DeLorean was a California plate. Or the original out of time plate was from California, I believe.
Yeah, well, excuse me. Baby needed a new look. And yes, that's the name of my Jeep, Baby.
So, but yeah, to go back a little bit, I've been watching House of Dragons season 2. I am enjoying it. And it's very clear to me, especially after the season 1 finale, that, one-eye guy, Aemond, is the new Joffrey. He's just Joffrey who's actually competent.
Wait, there's such thing as a competent Joffrey? No way.
Okay, I'm gonna be very, very clear. I did not watch Game of Thrones, so I can't do the comparisons. I do like
dude.
No, I found okay, let me rephrase that. I did watch Game of Thrones. I found it boring as fuck. I don't remember much about it. I find House of the Dragons very entertaining and a much tighter story. Maybe that's what I like about it.
Well, from what I understand, this is based on one of the books where it, and again, I haven't read the books either, that is already completed. So it actually has everything that's going to happen has been written down by George R.R. Martin. It's not like Game of Thrones where the ending, he still hasn't written the fucking ending for that series or for that book. So we don't know what happens after Jon Snow is killed. Sorry for the spoiler. He has not written anything after that.
I'm still pissed at George R.R. Martin for that huge announcement post he was going to make. Like, the book finished? Did he make did he write a page? No. He was holding up a picture of genetically modified wolf. That was the big announcement. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Finish the book.
And yeah, for anyone who actually was impressed about, the announcement of they brought the dire wolf back, no.
They genetically modified characteristics. There was no genome from a dire wolf involved.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. It was completely false.
I have no idea what you two are talking about, and I'm gonna just.
You haven't seen the announcement of the dire wolf pair?
I don't even know what dire wolf.
It's an extinct canid that was larger.
Okay.
It's about the size of a cow.
Yeah, think of a wolf the size of a cow.
Okay, whatever.
Well, it went extinct a few thousand years ago. By that I mean like 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. 12,000 that far? Okay, I was pulling a number out of my ass. But enough that we actually have written records of them, and we have remains of them and that kind of stuff.
The woolly mammoth went extinct about 4,000 years ago.
Yes, but are you talking about the population that survived on that one island?
No, the last reported one was about 4,000 years ago. It's some Christian monks were traversing.
Well, it couldn't have been a Christian monk because Christianity only existed.
Not Christian monks.
Yeah, it's hard to say, man. Our religion our religion's only about 2,000 years old.
It was a couple of wise men. Wise men. Astrologers.
Unless you're talking about
the comparison
the advisors to royalty. These guys were wandering around and they encountered a woolly mammoth.
The comparison that I was told was when the ancient pyramids were being built, there were still woolly mammoths.
Yeah, but nobody knows how old the actual Great Pyramid is.
We pretty much do. So.
Okay, enough of the boring history stuff.
Okay, so but yeah, they're not dire wolves, they're just genetically modified gray wolves to express traits similar to the dire wolf. They have no dire wolf DNA other than the fact that the dire wolf and the gray wolf share 99.5% of their DNA.
Doesn't mean jack shit to me, man.
Yeah,
the only true reborn creature is the woolly mouse. It actually has woolly mammoth genes in it.
Okay, anyway, can we get back to House of Dragon?
Well, I don't even know how we got off on, but because Elihu's point about the picture. Yeah, I saw that picture and I'm still like, yeah, I don't care. I don't know what episode I'm on. I'm like, I think I have like 2 episodes left of season 2. And Aemond has just become that guy who's playing the character perfect enough to hate. But they throw in so far, like twice so far this season, 2 instances where you want to feel sorry for the guy.
Why?
And I think those instances are a mistake because the great thing about Joffrey was he was such a fucking bastard every single scene he was in, so that when he died, people cheered.
Well, I think there might be a difference why they want to do that. They want to give a little bit where it's like, you kind of want to feel a little sympathy. I mean, I don't personally feel sorry for the motherfucker at all. But you know, I do love the whole dragons choosing thing. That was pretty fucking epic as hell.
Is that you're talking about from season 1?
Mm-mm.
With the dragon when the Aemon's dragon chose him. That's what you're talking about, right?
Mm-mm. I'm talking about season 2.
Oh, so one of the episodes I haven't seen yet. Okay.
Oh, god damn it!
Sorry. As I said, I haven't seen the last 2 episodes. At least maybe last 3.
Oh god, oh my god, you got my hopes up to talk about that episode. Asshole. Anyway, yeah, but I mean,
Mike, you were the one that brought it up, and you haven't even seen the last 2 episodes yet. Wow.
Yeah, the episode, the last episode I saw. Hold on, the last episode I saw was the one where the ant dies on her dragon.
Oh god, she was my favorite character, the queen that never was.
Yeah, she was also probably my favorite character as, you know, an individual, level-headed, willing to make sacrifices for the greater good, and the thing is, I don't see the other people doing that.
No, that's my point. She was the Obi-Wan, for lack of a better term, or Yoda, whatever you want to. She was the one who could keep everybody level-headed, but she was a fighter. She's like, okay, she knew she probably was going into battle and not coming back. Now,
yeah,
the thing is,
definitely.
she got away, and it's like she was safe, and it's like, that ain't how we roll. And I mean, honestly, it was one of the most badass death scenes I've ever experienced. And I'm like, well, she went out like a boss, like she should have.
But part of me is wanted to be like, when she did the whole latching herself to the saddle so she could perform those maneuvers in the air.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see the have you guys seen How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah.
Those 3 films, or however many films there were?
Yeah.
The TV show and Riders of Burke, yes.
Okay, I haven't seen the TV show. Caddy has, and now that I'm talking about it, maybe she'll show up. But he does the thing where he unlatches himself from his saddle, and he's got his little flight suit. I kind of wanted to see if she would do something like that.
Nah, that would have been. No, honestly.
But I didn't want to see her die. I wanted to see her survive. Like, okay, my dragon's going down.
Dude, I knew when she turned. I knew when she turned her dragon around. I was like,
oh yeah.
But no, as soon as she turned her dragon around, I'm like, fuck.
I knew from the second she said, "Well, then you have to send me." As soon as she said that, I'm like, "Oh, she's dead." Fuck, I don't want to see this.
No,
but I sat there and watched the whole fucking thing.
Well, why did she say her? Because her dragon had combat experience.
She was the most experienced rider. She had combat experience prior. She had the second largest dragon. So yeah, they were like, I'm the only choice.
Yeah, it was just like she knew what she had to do. That was the key thing. Like you said, she knew what to do for the greater good. And that included her dragon and her life. Because remember, yes, it cost her life and it cost the life of her dragon, but damn, she got 2 dragons out of it.
Well, according to the ending scene, the king's dragon was still alive, just very injured.
That's what I mean.
And Aemon's dragon was just tired.
They killed one dragon, and his dragon was severely injured. But the whole point was that the whole thing I'm talking about there is she was the only person to be able to go up against the biggest dragon.
Yeah.
And actually do damage. That's saying something. That's why she was the only choice. She was the only choice to get the maximum effect. And she went out like a goddamn boss, and she knew she was probably not coming back. And I had absolute respect. So
I
yeah,
am looking forward to the next 2 episodes because I want, or 3 episodes, or however many I still have yet to watch. Dealing with the fallout from that, because both sides won, but both sides lost.
Yeah,
so I want to see. I want to see the
that's yeah. You're gonna like that one. You're gonna like that one. You're gonna like how that goes.
So
yeah, you're in for some treats for these last few episodes.
And because I haven't read the book, I have no idea what's going to happen, and I like that idea.
Yeah, I've not read the books either. I'm not really that interested in them. I find that era genre of geekum not really my forte as far as reading, but sometimes, depending on the movie or series, I find it very entertaining. But as far as on paper, it just doesn't really sell with me. So where I'm one of those people who is in the minority who says I like the Lord of the Rings movies more than I like the books.
Well, I read the books a long time ago. So,
yeah, the books are way better than the movies.
After the show is when I'm probably going to start reading the books, especially if we get a date on when the release date for the last one, because I don't want to be, okay. To compare this to when Harry Potter was a thing,
mm-hmm.
My mom bought me book 1 and I never read it. A friend of mine gave me book 2 after seeing that I had book 1 and I still didn't read it. Another friend gave me books 3, 4, and 5 because book 6 was on its way out, and said, "Hey, I'm going to give you these books. Let's, there's a midnight release party at Barnes & Noble. I'm dressing up and doing the whole 9. Why don't you go with me after reading the books?" So I sat down and, over the course of a week, I read books 1 through 5 of Harry Potter and was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. I like this. Let's get the last book. Book 6. So we get book 6. I read book 6 literally that night. We get it at midnight. I started it at 1 o'clock in the morning. By 4 o'clock in the morning, I was done. Then I realized it's not the last fucking book.
No, Deathly Hallows.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought it was only going to, I know they said it was going to be, through the entire thing, they said it was, the school will take 7 years. But in my head, for some reason, I had limited it to 6 books that it was, So now I'm like, great. Now I've read everything and I got to wait. I don't want to do the same thing for Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire books.
So, I want to wait.
Dude, hang on a second. Hang on, MB. I was living in New Orleans when the last Harry Potter book was coming out. You remember how huge of a frenzy that was, right? The New Orleans Public Library was supposed to order 100 copies. They only ordered 1, and I was the very first one to get it. I held on to that motherfucker for a month. Just in spite.
My interesting take into the Harry Potter world was I didn't actually read anything or watch any of the movies till the Half-Blood Prince came out. And I mean the movie. And the book had already come out, but the movie had also already come out. And here's the thing. I saw the previews for some of the movies early on, and I had seen the covers for the books, and I'm like, oh, this is a kid's book. I'm like, I'm too old for kids' books. I'm like, and I did not watch any of the movies until I watched until the Half-Blood Prince, because I was like, everybody was just losing their shit. And I'm like, okay, what is this about? So I watched the first. I watched the first movie to the Half Blood Prince, and I'm like, holy shit, this really progresses with the age and the times of people. I'm like, fuck, are the books like this? And then I went and got the first book, and I was like, holy shit, this is good. And I went and got the rest of them, and I'm reading. I don't exactly know how long it took, but trust me, it was quick. And
Dude, sorry.
I'm kind of I was in a similar boat with VileMike, where except I knew it was coming out, but by that point I had already read everything up to Waiting on Deathly Hallows, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta know how this fucking ends. And I'm like, I pre-ordered the damn thing from I don't know, Books a Million or Barnes and Noble, whichever fucking one it was. Because it's like, I gotta read this thing. I'm like, I gotta see how this shit ends.
Well, the reason why it was so well blended, movies 1, 2, and 3, is because the director wanted to do the kids a favor. They did not want them to have a lull between movies 1 and 2 to get stardom and a big old ego in their heads, like, oh, we're big stars now. No, they wanted a continuous movie, then gradually get used to it. Because he's like, I know how child actors can be. They can get a huge ego really fast because they're young. He did not want to do that. I was like, I respect the director for doing that to Daniel and what's his name? Yeah, Chris. Thank you. I respect Chris Columbus for doing that. I'm like, wow, that was great, man.
The thing I thought that J.K. Rowling did so well was she matured the books with the audience that she was writing for. So
I will agree with you there. Rereading them later on, there's a lot of inconsistency that you kind of forgive because you're in that mindset. But
I've only read them one time.
I read them a couple of times. Like what I did is I read the books 1 through 6, then I watched the movies 1 through 4, I think at the time, and then I read the books again.
I did see Half Blood Prince in. No, I didn't see him. I can't remember if I saw Deathly Hallows 1 and 2 in the theaters or not. I don't remember. I just remember wanting the fucking book.
The way J.K. Rowling actually wrote it, I thought it was going to be Neville.
I thought that
But the way the movie played out. Sorry, the way the movie played it out, it was obvious.
Was not hooking Harry and Hermione up. Everyone would have expected it, and I like the fact that she didn't do that because he needed to have a female character that was more friend than lover.
I like the fact that it went that way because I'm going to be honest. It's one of those things like, okay, so I haven't seen the show yet. Wednesday.
I'm not going to.
No. Not going to what?
Oh, the new live action show that they're making.
Harry Potter.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. No, I was going to.
Nick Frost is playing Hagrid.
There was and I haven't seen the show yet. But my daughter has, and she loved it. The Wednesday show.
Oh, I saw that. I liked it. But
yeah,
before we go into, if we're going to change over into Wednesday, we need to take a quick break from our sponsor.
Avoid super battle droids, but not the super dealers at SD GameSwap.
No, one of the things my daughter really liked it. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's anything I'm gonna like or not. I have to say, based on the information I've seen from the character, or I'm sorry, the actor, I don't know her name.
Hold on
Jenna
1 second.
Ortiz.
Mr. Bear, whoever you are, can you put in the private chat who you are so we because I don't recognize your screen name.
It's Jenna Ortiz, MB.
Who?
Jenna Ortiz.
Okay. So what I heard was, and I heard mixed reports, but one of the things was she was very adamant about her character staying true to what she believed her character was, and she kind of was like, would say things
All
like,
right.
"No, this is
I'm gonna bring a new person up just to see,
Oh,
tell us who you are.
hello. You can call me B or Bear. I was just scrolling through YouTube, come across your stream, saw the open link, figured, if it'd be all right to join, see what the chat is.
Well, right now we're switching over to Wednesday.
Lolly, jolly, what a day. Sorry, man. I mean, he's got the avatar.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. I haven't changed it in years, so it's always been the same.
I just try to learn at least something about someone before I bring them up, only because we've had people do weird shit before.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I get it. When you put open links out there are people who will mess with you and do stupid stuff to, I'm just here to chat, really.
Well, welcome to the stream. I'm VileMike. I've been doing this for a few years. In fact, as you saw, that this is the 247th of my streams where we do this type of shit.
Oh, nice.
I've been around, and we've been a part of them for what, Mike? I met you and Elihu,
I'd say at least a year and a half ago.
I thought it was 2 years ago.
I'm too stoned to know, guys. Sorry.
You're always too stoned to know anything.
And the point being what?
Nothing. Just stating the obvious. Welcome to the crazy train, buddy. Hey, Mike, why don't you?
I can turn my camera back on. So what?
So since we got the new guy here,
yeah, do you want to bring up a subject?
Well, I saw
what kind of nerd stuff do you do, or do you like to talk about?
Well, I talk about Fallout, Warhammer, the Elder Scrolls lore, bit of Transformers, but I'm not the most versed on that. So
you got Fallout fans here.
I'm definitely a Fallout fan. I've been playing Fallout since Fallout 1.
So you are a man of good taste then. Brilliant.
Let's put it this way. I have about 12 games installed on my laptop. Half of them are Fallout games. Fallout 2, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout Shelter, and Fallout Tactics.
And do not get him started on the Fallout TV series where
you already do
the new what was it, New Vegas?
You just did, dude.
Okay. You just did, so I gotta do this. Okay, since you're a Fallout fan, were you mad, or have you seen the Fallout series?
I watched all of it, yeah, and there was a lot to hate about that show.
Well, I loved the show, but I hated the fact that they killed or they blew up Shady Sands, because as a Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas fan, I feel like I helped raise the new California Republic up from its infancy and Shady Sands into a large power in the post-apocalyptic wasteland, only to see it blown to freaking smithereens.
Yeah, it was the fact that, the NCR gets reduced to rubble over a marital disagreement, and there's also other stuff like the lack of the Master not having I know he's dead because he died in Fallout 1, but the fact that there's no remnants or even discussion in the show about that's the thing Bethesda likes to do. In the original Fallouts, all the mutants come from the Master, but in the new ones, all mutants have different origins.
Well, the mutants on the East Coast have different origins, for sure.
Yeah.
In New Vegas, because it was made by Obsidian, they, of course, admit that, when they got Michael Dorn to reprise his role as Marcus, they did the whole, we were from the Master. The Nightkin are from the Master.
Yeah.
but I understand why they didn't do it, because they were trying to save the budget, and I think portraying a super mutant would have been something that they didn't want to focus on. They wanted to focus on power armor, because that is Fallout. I mean, it's on the cover of every freaking game except for New Vegas.
Yeah, but however, the thing in the show is that whole one-shot floor. Like that, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't really like it either, but to me, in my head, the ghoul is basically a veteran player of the game. And let's face it, when you're going around as a veteran player, level 50 or whatnot, you can one-shot somebody in power armor.
Oh no, you don't get me wrong, you can, but I think if you're going to do it as a show presentation, you should have a better explanation. Like maybe he launches an EMP grenade and takes out the joints of the armor, or maybe he, flanks them and takes out the power core. Having that one little tiny microscopic spot that he can shoot and that power armor is gone is just.
I agree. That was probably a poor choice, but as a transition from the gameplay mechanic, I can somewhat forgive it.
So I have a question for you.
Just call me Bear.
Bear? You can just call me MB. You said
you just call me idiot or asshole.
Yeah, that too, or just pretty much anything. I don't give a fuck. Question. You mentioned Warhammer. I've never played Warhammer, but I do know that what's his name? The guy who played Superman.
Oh, Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he's a big fan, and he's looking to do a series on it. What do you think about that? Do you think it'll go well and they'll listen to him because he's a faithful fan of or you think they're going to fuck him over like they did The Witcher?
Yeah, see, that's the thing I am worried about, because Henry Cavill, he is not only was he well versed on The Witcher, he's very well versed on Warhammer. It just depends on how the studio wants to go about it. But it could also come down to, most of the time when it comes to the Warhammer stuff, despite the multiple factions and enemies and stories, Warhammer likes to prop up the Space Marines, which is okay in and of itself, but it could either be another run-of-the-mill, similar to Fallout with just a Warhammer aesthetic, or it could be Henry Cavill going deep into it and doing his own thing, but it just depends on the studio.
Do you think the studio will give him some creative control? Because the whole thing was with Witchers, he was going to do all the seasons until, they basically fucked him. Because
from what I understand, when it comes to The Witcher, they decided that the show was going to adapt less the novels and more adapt the game. And that was Henry Cavill's issue, and that was my issue with it as well, because as much as I like the Witcher games, it's what got me into the series. The books are just far superior, and I hate to sound like one of those snobs right now.
No,
sorry. You go first.
No, you're not being a snob, because the games are post the books. People tend to forget that. The games are post the books.
Yeah,
it's not
I enjoy the games, but he signed on.
The first game was more of an adaptation of the first book, and it was actually really well done. It was the second and third games that had very little to do with the books.
Yeah, it was more about growth in the story.
And then you had the fourth game that was basically after the island and the last book. The thing was, Henry Cavill signed on the belief that they were going to adapt the books. Yeah. And they fucked him. And he just said, I'm done.
And I don't mind adapting stuff, but when you're adapting an adaptation, it's like a Xerox. You lose quality over time.
No, but I mean, when you have the entire department going against you and be like, nah, we want to go in a completely different direction than what you signed on for. I mean, That's probably why he wants to do, if he's going to do a Warhammer series and actually get it off the ground. If he's smart, he's learned his lesson from what happened with Witcher, because the simple fact is he was great as Geralt. Yeah, he was great as Geralt of Rivia. I mean, that was the only thing anybody gave a shit about.
Yeah, I think it is all down to adaptation, because you can't adaptate something, change it in a way where it's better and it works out, or it doesn't. Because that happened with Joe the Stalker games.
No, I'm not. I don't think I played those ones.
Oh yeah, it's they are a janky mess, so don't worry. But Stalker was adapted from a movie, which was adapted from a book, and every iteration is better than the former.
Now, when it comes to Warhammer, I'm not a huge. I don't have a lot of knowledge base on it. My dad painted. He had a set of Space Marines. He mostly painted real world pewter figures. Yeah. But he did have a battalion of Space Marines with the associated tanks and stuff. But I didn't really know enough about it, and I haven't played the game. I don't know much about the lore. I do follow a couple of YouTubers.
Don't worry. Don't worry. The Warhammer lore, there is no easy way to explain it. If someone were to ask you, you'd have to go all the way back to, in the Warhammer universe, to the very beginning of the universe. That's the only way to describe any of it.
Yeah, this right here, Bear. This is the RPG.
Hold on, I'm gonna make you solo for a sec so I can see it.
All right, it's called Vampire the Masquerade. It's a die 10 game. This is 2nd edition. This is what my friends and I played the entire time we were growing up in junior high and high school. Believe it or not, this is what kept us out of a lot of fucking trouble. There is a 5th edition. The problem is, when I looked at it, I'm like, this isn't the game I played. I'm like, these aren't the clans I know. So I went out and I've been getting online and I've been finding 2nd edition stuff. And see, this is what happens when a geek goes through a midlife crisis. They buy shit that they got rid of because the parents told them to, because they needed to grow up.
Hey, if people didn't do that kind of stuff, I'd go out of business with my eBay store, because half of that is all people just trying to get back their childhood, and I fully endorse it.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. I did the same.
Yeah, the whole reason I started this live stream is basically to promote my eBay store.
So, good marketing.
I don't have all of them yet, but I did manage to find a shit ton of the clans, the vampire clans. I don't have all of them yet. Got the Torador. They're the sexy ones, for lack of a better term. Each actual vampire clan has their own unique abilities. And strengths and weaknesses. The Assamites, they're the assassins.
Okay, what's funniest about this to me is the only experience I have for Vampire the Masquerade is briefly playing the game, the video game, many years ago, getting frustrated within the first 10 minutes and never playing it again.
The Ventru, the business ones. Oh, been a while since I've seen the Shamir. Oh yeah, they're
the Bruja.
That's kind of like the same experience with Morrowind.
I don't have the Bruja clan book
yet.
Dude.
I see
Hey, you know how hard it is to find these things? I only have so much money to spend on eBay. I'm amazed I got this many. The Ravenos, the Gypsies.
I don't think I've gotten a single Vampire the Masquerade thing in over 20 years of having my store.
Lysandra. One of my personal I do have the Gangrel. I don't know where it's at. That was actually, of course, that was my first pick.
You got the Macavanian?
Huh?
Macavanian?
No, I haven't got that book yet. I'm dying
All right.
to get that book. And then
Since-
my personal favorite, the Giovanni.
Oh, nice.
All right, since we started out talking about Last of Us and we went into Fallout briefly,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts, Bear, on the announcement by Nintendo to do a live-action Zelda movie?
You know what? I'm actually not too sure. I know that in the past, Japan has done like live action anime that is meant to be turned out really well. I know Zelda's not an anime, but I don't know. I think it depends on how they go about it or what the story's going to be.
Okay, because I am a huge Zelda fan. In fact, the oldest video on my YouTube channel is my Zelda timeline theory from almost 20 years ago. Okay. So I am a huge Zelda fan. I am not looking forward to it because I'm afraid of. Okay, think of it like if the Fallout show, actually followed the storyline from one of the protagonists. You know, the Vault Dweller, the Chosen One, the Soul Survivor. It would have been a horrible adaptation. The fact that they decided to go completely unique and do it from 3 different type of players scenarios, I thought was really well done. I am afraid of seeing Link do something on screen because I'm going to look at it, I'm like, that's not how I played the game. That's not what my Link does.
You know, the Nintendo website needs to update because of the when they opened the store in San Francisco, I clicked on a link and it says read more and it says reservation required, but there's no link to make a reservation. Like, come on.
You know, Mike, I think I said this the last time you brought up the Legend of Zelda thing. I don't think a movie's a good idea, but for different reasons. I think if you're going to do a Legend of Zelda, it needs to be a series.
I think we talked about that, and I agreed with you on that point. But as I said, I thought it should be an adaptation of multiple aspects of the game, and then be completely separate from the timeline.
Exactly. I think we talked about that, didn't we?
And I say that because, and I say what's weird about that is because we were talking about Last of Us, and remember the best episode that we agreed on doesn't follow the game and is a poor adaptation, which negates my freaking argument partially because I loved that fucking episode.
Oh, is it the Bill one? Where
yes.
Yes.
See,
no, actually, I have.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm in the same camp. The problem is that The Last of Us has a really good way of telling a story and presenting it, but at the same time, it's something that, despite it being good, you don't like it at the same time. The Bill episode is great. I just kind of wish they did something different after the fact.
I said, actually, we had a very long conversation about the Bill episode when we talked about Last of Us some time back. Mike was like, you got to talk about this on your TikTok, and I did. And everybody knew the episode I was talking about was the Bill episode. And I told everyone, including Mike, about this. I was like, the only thing that pissed me off was it was a filler episode, and I'd have rather had a whole mini series of those characters because I'm like, I wanted more. I was more interested in their story than I was in Joel's. Yeah. I'm sorry to Mike. I mean, come on.
I think the episode should have played out the same, but at the end, Bill and Frank don't die, just Frank does. And after his death, Bill goes full, recluse and like in the game.
My whole thing with that is I just thought it was more beautiful for Bill and Frank to go together.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely was. Yeah. That's the problem with The Last of Us. They'd have a really good way of telling and presenting stories, but at the same time, you don't like it.
Well, I mean,
as I said, it's a great fucking episode. It's just a bad adaptation of that part of the game.
Yeah. And okay, and you know what? Yeah, that's the thing I tell people. You got to learn how to separate like a book from a show or a TV series. You got to kind of learn how to separate that. I
don't know if
know
I
it
can do
is
that with Zelda.
difficult as fuck. I know it is difficult as fuck. I am not saying it is not difficult as fuck. I am just as guilty as anybody else.
And I'll give you an example. Back when I was doing the Zelda timeline stuff, people would cite the manga adaptation of some of the games as evidence for stuff. And I was like, no, because the manga is an adaptation. It's not the exact same thing. It doesn't work that way.
Oh, no, wait. If they need to do a Zelda film, it needs to be full-on Zelda CGI.
Well, it needs to be a new story. It can't be an adaptation of one of the games. I don't want to see an adaptation of one of the games.
Not even Zelda CGI?
No, I don't. I just want it to. I don't care if it's cartoon. I don't care if it's live action. I don't care if it's CGI. I just don't want it to be an adaptation of one of the games.
Now, here's the thing. If we're going to go live action, I swear to God, I want practical effects. I am so overdone with CGI. I want to go back and see some old school practical effects, location sites. I mean, my wife and I were talking about this with the Snow White movie, and we're like, it would have been cheaper just to hire 7 dwarves to act than it would to just CGI those people in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see it. I have no interest in seeing it.
No. I haven't seen it either. I'm not going to see it because I'm not going to dishonor Walt's memory.
Someday My Prince Will Come is not included in the movie. It's not about that. It's about women empowerment now.
I don't care. I don't want to know. I want nothing to do with that movie. I will not dishonor Walt's memory.
Yeah. After watching Lion King, the CGI travesty live action thing of that, I have no interest in seeing any of the live action reboots for
Oh God,
Disney.
My wife
I haven't watched. I defended it, but I have no interest in watching Little Mermaid. I still have no interest in seeing Snow White. I didn't watch. What was the other one they did? Lady and the Tramp.
Aladdin.
Oh, Aladdin! I haven't watched.
Yeah.
Aladdin was good.
Aladdin
I didn't watch
is
Aladdin
the
either.
exception to the rule here.
I love the genie's perspective. Aladdin was good.
Yes, the whole key thing about Aladdin was they got the song. Okay, I've said this before. The whole reason I will not watch the Little Mermaid movie is because it is my favorite of all the Disney animation movies because of the songs. And the songs are key. And when the songs are, that's why I can't stand the Beauty and the Beast, because I'm like, when they do Be Our Guest, I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. And then it's
true.
Beauty and the Beast. I'm like, you're not Angela Lansbury. I'm like, you're not Angela Lansbury. You're doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
Shut up, Mr. Teapot.
See, like that's why Hunchback is really good, because some of the songs in that are true fire.
No, Aladdin, they managed to get the songs right. And the key thing was, I love that Will Smith did not try to do Robin Williams. That was my biggest fear. As long as he did his own, because I was like thinking, okay, Will Smith better do his own thing because he cannot do Robin Williams. I mean, he needed to be his own genie. And he was. And I it's the exception rule. Mike, you mentioned Lion King. My wife and I didn't even make it 20 minutes into that thing. We were just like, bored.
Yeah, as soon as he went over the cliff, I'm like, I'm done. This is stupid.
I think the only reason we watched it is we were at the drive-in and we wanted to see the other movie afterwards, because most of the drive-ins here in SoCal play 2 movies.
Oh, you have double features still? Nice.
Well, we only, as far as I know, we only have one drive-in left. The one where GameSwap used to sell at, that drive-in is closed. So
I was gonna say I didn't know drive-ins were still a thing in America.
Yeah,
they're rare. But we have actually one here where I live in Indiana, not too far from me. Weather's actually looking good. I think I'm gonna strip baby down a little bit. That's my Jeep. And hopefully get out there. But I got, unfortunately, a major problem I have to deal with. And I'm actually going to go ahead and say this live, guys. My agoraphobia is apparently far worse than I thought it was.
Mm.
I mean, bad. I did not know it was so severe. I thought it was the other medications that I was on, or
Like
dealing with.
agoraphobia is in like
Afraid
I'm
of being
afraid
outside.
of. I have a fear of open areas.
oh
It's an irrational fear. That's the simple fact is there's no justification for
oh no
it.
no 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 I don't get me
No,
wrong.
no,
I just
no,
didn't know
I'm
if
not.
like yeah when you said goraphobia I went oh do you mean like gore as in like those
He's a
videos?
Marine. He's a Marine. He's afraid there's no cover around.
Oh.
Actually, that's an interesting aspect to say. No, it's just strange. I was supposed to go with my wife. I hadn't been out to Terre Haute, Indiana in almost 2 years. And I was, really looking forward to going, doing some stuff with her, getting the chicken coop stuff, and got everything packed up. I'm changing into my pants, and all of a sudden, I just start having a massive panic attack. And I thought my anxiety pills would be enough, but I'm gonna have to call my doctor's office, talk to the nurse, and say, "Hey, I got a follow-up coming for the neuropathy. We got something we got to talk about here."
No, that sounds.
Well, it's interesting because like I didn't have an anxiety attack or a panic attack, but on one of my trips to Arizona, when my work sent me out there, I'm driving along the flat road. There's no mountains or trees around. And even though it's a lot more open than anything else, it felt claustrophobic all of a sudden.
Huh.
And
Well,
remember,
my thing is I shouldn't have an irrational fear of going 30 minutes away from my house.
well,
Oh
yeah.
no, if it's something you have,
But
it's not.
irrational fears are. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can't help an irrational fear. It's irrational because it's irrational, but it's not. It's not like get over it. If you've got it, you've got it. It's something you can't help, is it?
It's
Well,
like
with this particular one, I did find out that my daughter's girlfriend, her mom's husband. God, I hate how I have to say that, do that lineup. But apparently he has a similar issue, and he has to take a medication like 30 minutes prior. And I looked it up, and it's like, okay, hopefully my new counselor works out better than my last one, which lasted all of 5 minutes. But Mike and Elihu, and I'll tell you about that experience afterwards. But
well, when you're talking about irrational fears, though, what I wanted to bring up was I have a really weird irrational fear of low heights. And to explain,
low heights, really?
okay, if I'm on a 1 or 2 story building, I'm scared shitless. Okay, if I'm climbing a ladder, I'm scared. When I'm 1,000 feet in the air, looking over the edge of the Grand Canyon, where I'm literally, standing on an outcropping where I could fall to my death, I'm perfectly fine. I could stand on top of a skyscraper, perfectly fine.
Well, I am acrophobic, and it got progressive over the years of my life, but I actually do know where that was pinpointed at. That was pinpointed when I was about 4 years old in Germany, and it just did not manifest until my late teen years.
But like I've gone bungee jumping. It's fine by me. I want to go skydiving. But yeah, climbing a freaking ladder scares the shit out of me.
Okay, last time I was on a height level of anything, I was on my ladder, I was on my roof, I was cleaning out the gutters, and I was having a massive panic attack. And I was scared shitless that my wife came. I was like, thank God my wife came out because she guided me down the ladder. Otherwise, I'd either fallen off or just stayed up there. Because I'm not sure I could have gotten down that damn ladder.
But that's the thing about irrational fears. They are irrational. You know, it's really hard to control them. So,
yeah, they suck.
Yeah. It's something you can't help. It's you know, it is what it is, as they say.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, I know that, but they still suck.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong, they do suck. But at the end of the day, it's just something you can't help.
I've never heard of yours, Mike. This fear of low.
Yeah, I don't know if it has a specific name. It's not exactly acrophobic, but
no, it wouldn't be acrophobic. That's an irrational fear of heights. But,
basically, if I'm high enough where I know I'll die if I fall, I'm perfectly okay. It's if I at a height where if I fall and I survive, I'm scared. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let's see if there's a fear of low heights.
That's what I just looked up right now.
I mean, hey, I mean, why not?
Let's see. Okay, ChatGPT. Yeah, based on the web results, right? Acrophobia is part of a broader category. Might not be classified as acrophobia.
Actually, you might be acrophobic in the sense that you have a fear of
avoiding short ladders and low platforms.
Everything here is saying
acrophobia.
Yeah, you have a form of acrophobia. You have a fear of heights.
Yeah, it could be like micro or reverse acrophobia.
You have a fear of heights just on the opposite scale of me. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Like when I was a teenager, a friend of mine actually got his pilot license before he got his driver's license. So he was 16 years old and he could fly people around. And I remember going in an airplane with him and two of our other friends in this little tiny Piper Cub looking thing. I don't know exactly what make and model it was. And I'm just looking out the window thinking, can you fake an emergency so I can jump out of this plane?
Well, Mike, it also says right here, it may not be classified as acrophobia, but could still be a specific phobia related to spatial discomfort or a conditioned fear response.
I don't know.
I mean, I know why I have a fear of heights. When I was about 4 years old in Germany, one of my dad's friends decided to think he'd be cute and stuck like my shoulder blades and my head out the window. And of course I freak out and I'm screaming, thinking he's gonna drop me. And my mom is there and she's freaked out. And let's just say that was my dad's best friend who did that, and we never saw him again.
Yeah, don't blame you. I mean, as a kid, if someone holds you over an open space, you're going to be scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, the strange thing was, I mean, like I said, I didn't start developing. It didn't start manifesting till my teen years because I didn't have a problem with flying or heights or anything like that till around 18, 19. And that's when I started having the fear. I don't know why, but it just started manifesting. And then after that, it got progressively worse and progressively worse. And, no, I mean, I haven't flown in over a decade, and I guarantee you I ain't never flying again.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, the one thing that, because everyone said a little bit about theirs, The one thing that like I discovered that I was freaked out about was there was a trend on YouTube where they were talking about sub-mechaphonia, where it's like, you know, man-made constructs deep underwater, and they were doing like slideshows and pictures and stuff, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that's frightening.
Ooh,
So
Spacewalk
like,
starts this week.
yeah, so stuff like, you know, mechanics or airplanes, boats, seeing those deep underwater, you know, at the bottom is just, I don't know what it was. I was seeing them, I was like, geez, I would not want to be there. No way.
Well,
Sorry,
it's
sorry, something got my attention called Spacewalk. It's a 420 event. 7 growers, 7 strains, 7 lounges, 7 nights.
Why have
Nice.
Hey, Elihu, when's that SpaceX landing on Mars?
No idea.
I figured you'd know.
Dude, every time SpaceX talks about landing on Mars, they get the date pushed back. They get the date pushed back. They get the date pushed back.
I thought they
I'm
launched.
waiting. No, I'm waiting for Horizon's flight tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time.
Hasn't like the past 3 SpaceX shuttles like either failed to launch or exploded?
Yes.
Yeah, there wasn't the one that like got. I know there was one that succeeded, but I know like the previous 3 didn't.
Yeah, one exploded on takeoff. The other one blew up when it was taking off. The other one blew up when it was coming down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've kept up with. I really haven't kept up with a lot. I thought they launched one that succeeded and was headed to Mars.
No, he fired his original engineer. I don't know why he did this, because when the first 3 launches, the first 2 blew up, and his engineer said, if this doesn't work, we're going to be out of business. And Musk agreed, said, yeah, if this doesn't work, SpaceX is done. And the 3rd launch was successful. He gave the engineer a huge raise, all celebration, and he got fired for some reason, and these rockets are now blowing up. I'm like, wow.
I'll have to look into that one because I didn't know about that. I don't know anything about that, but
honestly, it's the first I've heard about it.
Yeah, I don't really.
I mean, I've seen the rockets blow up, but
yeah,
No,
literally the same. I've
I've
always seen it in news posts going, "Oh, this a SpaceX rocket from such and such like either failed to launch or blew up on impact."
Well,
Hey,
it's like you guys-
Bezos is smart because he's quiet about his shit. He's not like, well, we're doing this. No. He was like, okay, we're going to launch this. Like, really? You're going to launch something? Yeah, you didn't know we were building it because we're not egotistical. We just want to explore. I love Bezos for that.
well, here's
in
the
all
whole
honesty, as I said, as much as I may not be a fan of Elon Musk, I'm a very big proponent of privatized space exploration. So,
agreed.
Yeah, I saw Bezos' plane in the Kennedy Space Center. I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah, I haven't. It was like when we were talking about in the previous stream, Mike, the political stream. I haven't kept up with a lot of that stuff because, like I said, my father's death. I'm still dealing with his effects.
Oh, sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, I'm almost done with that, but then. At the same time, my type 2 diabetes develops neuropathy. I get a concussion. I'm like, I feel like Captain Shaw from Picard season 3, where I'm like, anybody else want to throw some weird shit at me?
I love Shaw.
I love Shaw too. Hola, Mrs. Cardenas.
Oh, yeah. Everyone has to say hi to Mrs. Vile. She's in the chat.
Oh, hello.
That is basically my wife. We're not actually married, but she's basically my wife.
She lives in Mexico.
Yeah, I live in Southern California. She lives in Mexico, Tijuana.
Ah.
How far is the drive? How far is the drive for you from where you lived in TJ?
It's
about a 30-minute drive without without any traffic at the border.
Usually an hour with traffic and border. The max.
Well, for when I crossed this morning, it took me about 4 hours to cross the border.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh.
so what is more difficult for you, going to Mexico or getting back to the States?
Oh, always getting back to the States.
Back to the
Yeah.
States, yeah.
Well,
You can
I
easily
mean,
go
I
in. It's
don't
like,
know.
ID,
I've never
okay,
been
bye.
down. Hey, guys, the only time I've ever crossed the borders of anything, I had orders.
Yeah,
Dude, there
and
was years ago, all you got to do was walk across the canal, go through the turn gate, and you're in Mexico. No ID, no nothing. Now you got to show ID to get to Mexico.
Yeah.
back before 9/11, I used to go down to Mexico all the time because I was tall enough to drink, and that's how they judged it. Basically, it was they didn't check your ID. If you could sit on a bar stool and look over the counter, they would serve you a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things are easy in TJ.
Yeah.
So
I've never been to TJ's. I've never been to Mexico. I've been to Canada, Germany, Greece.
I think Mexico is one of those. I think Mexico is one of those that where I don't get me wrong, I'm in Britain, so I don't have the best knowledge when it comes to US, Mexico, and stuff like that. But from some stuff I've read, I know that there are places in Mexico that are completely fine, other places you don't want to go, and other places that are safe purely because it's like cartel owned.
Oh God, that's anywhere in the United States.
what's funny about that is, at one point, I don't know if it's still true, but at one point, Tijuana actually had the highest murder rate per capita out of anywhere on the planet.
Yeah, I think I remember that. That was what, a decade ago?
It was big, more than New York in the 90s.
I thought it was Juarez.
Hold on. I still felt safer there than I did in some places in Texas.
No, true.
Hey. Let me tell you something. I had living in my steel mill town, of small towns. Even we had areas, because I was on the other side of the Mississippi from St. Louis. There were still areas where white boys don't belong. And I'm not going to go through both stories, but there was one where I was working at Shoney's. I think I was 16 or 17 at the time. And one of the ladies, real nice, she could not, her ride was late or was going to be late or something. And we were closing up. And I said, I'll drive you home. She goes, no, you can't. She's like, why? She's like, I live in Brooklyn. And okay, you got to understand, I'm not talking about Brooklyn, New York. I'm talking about Brooklyn where I live. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Young white boy bringing an older black girl home. Yeah, I'm not making it out of there alive.
It's like Bruce Willis hanging around in Harlem with that sign around his neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know that I know in Texas that in Waco is very dangerous, apart from the obvious Waco event. I know there's been a few stuff in Waco that's happened post that.
Redneck country.
Well, half my family's from Texas, so
you wouldn't know redneck white trash if it bit you in the ass and it's staring right.
Hey, I used to go to Cajun Town in New Orleans. Okay, I know where Southern is.
Rednecks. I'm redneck white trash, for God's sakes.
Well, trash, yes, but still.
No, I'm white trash. Let's get
it. Wait, so Bear, where are you exactly from?
Just in the UK myself.
Where at the UK?
The UK is big, so.
Oh yeah. So Liverpool.
Okay.
North
yeah,
England.
We actually do know. We actually do know people from like Ireland and the UK.
One
of the people that comes on our stream quite often is a UK citizen living in Canada. So
yeah. I was going to say though, when you say Ireland and the UK, be careful with that because there's two islands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not northern.
A good chunk of my ancestry is Scottish, Irish, and English. But the only part that I accept is the Scottish because I'm part of the Blair family. So, we got the castle.
Oh yeah, I know it. Yeah.
What did I?
Our family title was going to go to me at one point. So at one point, I could have been called Sir.
I'm sure as fuck not calling you sir. You ain't no Sir Patrick Stewart.
You're more like a they. You're more like a they
It
or
was an
them.
inherited title, but instead, my uncle gave it to his son instead of me.
Dude, you're not a sir or ma'am. It's more like they or them.
The only
But,
speaking of which, the only reason I would even see the Avengers movie is because of Sir Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McClellan.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, if they kill Professor X again for the fourth fucking time, I'm throwing something at the screen.
Well, the Russos did say people are going to die and nobody's coming back, like a snap. Which means if they are dead in MCU forever. So people will say heroes will die.
No, you kill off Professor X for the fourth time. I'm done.
So heroes are going to die in this franchise.
I don't care, just not those two.
I kind of wish that they made more. If they made more superhero movies or series, but started going for like different series stuff. Like I really like Judge Dredd. I really like Spawn. If they did more stuff like that, yeah.
Oh, dude! Last night, Killmonger showed off his autographed Magneto helmet with the guy who does the voice for the cartoon.
Oh,
he wrote,
nice!
Yeah, he has autograph, and he also wrote on one side, "To me, my X-Men."
So my ancestry.
I'm like, oh, perfect line.
Yeah.
So my ancestry is 32% Germanic, 26% England, Northwestern Europe, 13% Scotland, 11% Italian, 9% Ireland, yada yada yada. And then we can go
That's
through.
98%. You've got 2% asshole.
No, I'm 120% asshole and 150% dickhead. Get it right.
Mrs. Vile was asking, what was the name of the movie? King Ralph, the American turned king of Great Britain.
Yes.
Yeah, King Ralph.
Yes, King Ralph.
John Goodman.
Oh God, the guy from Roseanne.
Goodman. John Goodman.
John Goodman.
What was it? John Goodman? I thought it was Rodney Dangerfield.
No, it was John Goodman.
John Goodman.
Yeah,
what was
John
the one with
Goodman.
Rodney Dangerfield then?
Back to School.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to check because I could have swore that was a Rodney Dangerfield movie.
No, that was John Goodman.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Back to School.
Yeah, it might be. It's obviously been a while.
Yeah, because I did the thing where I watched like a load of films that John Goodman was in.
But let's see. We're gonna go back to watching old movies. While I was waiting in line this morning, I rewatched Big Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Old movies, dude.
Nice.
I am old. If you're going on an old movie, I'm old. Okay. Jeez.
Well, not old, but older.
I was watching last night. I was like, I was completely bored. I'm like, okay, what the fuck do I want to watch? And I'm just looking through the search engines of the different streaming services, and I'm like, Tombstone pops. I'm like, oh fuck yes.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Oh, I watched because Val Kilmer passed recently. I ended up watching my favorite film with him, Prince of Egypt.
It's top secret.
No, I'm serious. I remember talking with another guy I know, Loki, and I was like, because there was this thing going around. It's like, should Val Kilmer have got an Oscar for playing Doc Holliday? And I'm like, is this even a question? It's like, that should have been a given. I mean, he just, anytime there is ever any poll that comes out or someone says, name a role somebody nailed so good, nobody will ever be able to top it. And Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday always is my first. Hands down. It's why I will never watch that Kevin Costner Wyatt Earp fucking thing because I'm like,
Kevin Conroy, Batman.
no,
There
Kevin
is,
Costner Wyatt Earp, not Kevin. I'm not talking about Batman.
NB. He was saying whoever played the role that can't be done better afterwards, and he's saying Kevin Conroy's Batman as an example.
I was going to say there is an actor,
Peter Weller, Optimus Prime.
There is an actor who he holds the record for. He's only been in 3 movies, and he's got an award for every single one. Joe, the guy who plays Fredo in Godfather.
Marlon Brando.
No, that's
that's the Don. The guy who plays Fredo. I forget his name. He's in a couple of Hunting as well.
I can't remember the actor's name, but I got to correct the lie for a second.
Yeah.
Peter Cullen.
Thank you, not Weller. Yes, that's why I said. Wait, yeah, I was trying to think of his
Peter
last name.
Weller was RoboCop.
RoboCop. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Man.
Sorry.
Come on, we all
Peter. Okay, Peter Pumpkin. Come on.
Peters mixed up.
I had Peter right. Hey. Not bad for a starter.
Peter, hey, we're doing a Peter pool here.
Well, what's funny is you were talking about Little Mermaid earlier. The guy that voiced Little Mermaid, because you said it was your favorite animated one.
Yeah.
The guy that voiced the prince in that film also voiced Spider-Man in the animated series in the 90s, who, of course, was a Peter Parker. And
which Spider-Man was that in the 90s?
The 1992 or 1993 series.
Okay. Yeah. Shit, you said Spider-Man series.
When you bring it up, the reason I was thinking about it is they recently did an advertisement for something that he's going to be in soon that I saw on YouTube Shorts or something. It was one of, when you're scrolling past and you see the ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks nothing like any of the characters he's ever freaking voiced. He's got this big, bushy, braided beard. He looks like a Vin Diesel with hair, and he plays these scrawny white guys with no facial hair and everything he voices. And I'm like, that's him?
I was actually watching, it's interesting you bring that up about voice actor, because I was watching, it came up on my TikTok feed, and it's like, I'm a voice actor, and this I don't know who she was, I can't remember, but she starts going through the list of people, and one of them is Harley Quinn from the video games, the Batman Arkham series.
Oh yeah, I know you mean.
Sorkinson. What's her first name? I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, you're just. Well, what I was thinking is, it's just amazing how a voice actor can, come up with a voice for the character and just go with it. I'm like, I flat out said, I can't do that.
Yeah, they've definitely got they've definitely got a lot of range, because you will come across some voice actors that pop up in the weirdest places, like the voice actor for the boss in MGS3 does Pale from SpongeBob. The David Hayter, he was the guy in Monsters v Aliens. There's another guy who he's the voice of Joshua Graham in New Vegas. He also does Dr. Kine in Dead Space, and there's something else he's in, but I forget.
I was watching cartoons that made us on Netflix. And one of them was one of my personal favorites, of course, He-Man, because that was a staple for Americans growing up. And, a lot of these voice actors voiced multiple characters over the course of time. But one of the things I found really interesting was, how they came up with the different voice characters. And the guy who voiced Skeletor, how he came up with the voice was, they kind of got a concept art and they said, make him sound nasally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
And I was just like, he did the voice, and I'm like, all these years later, this guy can still remember how to do that voice and that laugh. I'm like, fucking A, that's talent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
there's
to
just
mention, you Americans have like some of the best cartoons as well. We didn't get a lot of them in the UK. We had actually while I'm here, were Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet a big thing in America?
Captain Scarlet. Not one I'm familiar with. No.
Not that we know of.
No, I'm old, but not that old.
It might have been like a UK thing.
Well, you
Well,
got to
like,
understand, back when we
Hey,
grew up,
Red Dwarf is a UK thing, but I still love Red
Yeah.
Dwarf.
there like a couple of the things that I do like from the UK.
Well, man, remember,
Doctor Who, Red Dwarf,
hold on a
Blackadder,
second, guys. You got to
Mrs. Brown's
remember, though,
Boys.
Yeah.
Truth
guys,
Those are the
Seekers.
ones I love.
hey, guys, you got to remember, back when we were kids, there wasn't a lot of UK stuff that came over this way.
Oh yeah, it wasn't to lord anything over. It was just I was
Yeah.
curious if because we got a lot of US stuff. I was wondering if any UK stuff came to the US.
No,
Not as
Not
not as
really.
often, but on occasion.
What kind of US stuff did you guys get? I'm curious.
Well, we definitely got a lot of SpongeBob. We got a lot of Butch Hartman, like Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom. We got Ren and Stimpy.
This is 2000 stuff.
Yeah,
How old are
I do
you,
remember the
Barrett,
old.
if you don't mind me asking.
The which? Sorry. What was that? Sorry.
We're all in our 40s and 50s. How old are you?
Oh, 26. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was about to say, I'm like, wow, that's like 2000s cartoons, man. We used to like He-Man, G.I. Joe,
we're not picking on you. We're not
Thundercats.
picking on you. We're
Yeah,
not picking
Thundercats.
on you. We're just trying to make sure we know where your age range and.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. I know that there's a lot of stuff before my time. I do really like G.I. Joe. It is weird though how there is like a separation between the action figures and the re-release like show.
Yeah.
One of the
But
things.
this stream, hold on. This stream usually goes for about 2 hours. We've almost been going on for 2 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and set up to end the stream. Now, Bear, I don't know if you've ever seen one of my things, but I usually end the stream by playing a specific clip from. Basically, it's a Strange New Worlds clip that I have spliced with other stuff. I'm going to list them out, and I'm going to let you choose which one you want to hear.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. They're separated as Klingon drinking song, Klingon style song, Klingon opera, Klingon war, Klingon victory. You can tell there's a lot of Klingons. Klingon prison, Klingon Dahar, Dr. Sunshine, Dr. Opera, Data Blue Skies, and Data Life Forms. I'll let you choose which one.
Oh. I do like Data. I'd probably say Data Life Forms.
All right. I'm going to hit that one.
Life forms, you tiny little life forms, you precious little life forms. Where are you?
Buy something at SD Game Swap, or I'm going to put all of you in a cargo container and transport you to the Borg.
And now, a special message from some of the Vile children.
You're gay. How'd you know?
Well, that was new.
That is such a great way to end the stream.
Oh, wait a minute.
Mike,
when did
We're still live. We're still live.
We haven't ended it just yet, but
when did you come up with that last one? That was new.
That one's actually a few years old because that's back when Vile Style had her pink hair. I just re-uploaded it to StreamYard. And I play that because my opening theme song still references one of my kids, which we call the Vile Kids. So if I play a clip of them at the end of the episode, the stream still includes a Vile Child.
Yeah. It works, right?
All right. So if you ever want to join again, just as I said, I usually post the link in the chat. Just remind me who you are, and I'll bring you back up, Bear.
Oh, no,
Good
no,
chatting
no,
with
I
you.
will do. But honestly, thank you for having me on the stream. Hopefully we'll be on it again soon. But listen, to each and every one of you, have a lovely day. Great talking to you. And yeah, thank you again.
Well, I do this
Good.
particular
You
stream
have a-
every Sunday.
You
Oh,
have a
brilliant.
blessed one.
All right. Later, folks.
See you later. Ta-ra, mate.
Live long and
Later,
prosper.
later, weirdos.